Hi and welcome. Welcome. We are running the workshop one more time. How to make your classifieds posts work harder for you. Look, Skool has this amazing trust factor because it's high traffic, high trust. And I want to teach you today how to leverage that high traffic, high trust that is already built into Skool. So give me just a second. I am going to share my screen and we are going to get rolling. Okay, so we're making our classifieds posts work harder for you. I want you to get leads while you sleep. Doesn't that sound amazing? I don't want you to pay meta ads. I don't want you to have to pay for leads. I want you to have an organic, evergreen system that just lives forever, right? Lives forever based on your posts, and I want your posts to do the work for you, okay? So we're going to talk orientation and expectations. I want to talk about why a public works on Skool, the discovery mindset versus the social media mindset. I want to give you some post frameworks. I want to talk engagement and authority, and then I want to tell you about this amazing tool I built. So this workshop is free. Will stay free, will always be free, okay? But this workshop is going to teach you how to write classifieds posts that get found outside of Skool, okay? AI, search engines, and I don't want to overwhelm you. Like, it's not that hard, but like, I don't want to go into like building an SEO. I just want to tell you some tips and tricks and hacks to make it so much easier. We're going to turn discovery into conversion without posting more. So literally, I want to say right here, right now, that Mimi did, the other mod in Classifieds did a workshop last Friday about how to be your more authentic self. And where I see that is that our two workshops actually go hand in hand. I don't want you to post these posts like heavy keyword, heavy informational. I don't want you to post these all week. I want you to post 3, maybe 4. And the rest of the week, I want you to post information about what's going on in your group, information about you. I really want you to show up in those posts. Not that you're not showing up in this one, but it's different, and it's different on purpose. Okay? Know exactly what to change. After this workshop, you're going to know exactly what you need to do in your next post so it lives forever. Okay? It will keep on churning traffic to your community without you having to do post. Listen, it's 2026. Let's work smarter, not harder. Okay? Here we go. The next thing is that this is a free workshop. There's a guy here in Houston that has a furniture store, and he goes, free, every commercial. So I just want you to know this workshop will always be free. Okay? And so you're going to get massive value. And I'm not just saying that because I'm running it. I'm literally saying you are going to get massive value. You are going to walk away from this workshop knowing how to make your post drive traffic to your about page. There will be an offer. Okay. So I just want to get the elephant out of the room, and name it. There will be an offer at the end for anyone who wants to implement faster. Okay. I have been using this system for a while. Okay. It's the way that I used to generate posts for, it's the same mindset and the mind frame that I used to generate posts on Facebook, but I wasn't getting the traffic. I wasn't getting the reach that I was on Facebook, even back in 2020 when it still wasn't, what it is now. So the tool that I created, I have used it. And I have used it with clients. So I just want you to know it has been tested. All right. So first and foremost, I want you to unlearn social media. Okay. Social media taught us how to have feed thinking. We need engagement. We need people to like. We need people to comment. We need people to share. That's not what we do here. It's a completely different something. I want you to think in the way of, I have a website. I'm getting discovered through that website. Except that your website, you have to build that trust factor. You have to post. You have to post. You have to post. And with Skool, the really cool thing is that's already done for you, because Skool has such a high trust, high traffic, trust factor. Classifieds are a search surface. What that really means is that literally your comments, your posts, your courses, your course pages, the calendar events, everything on Skool has its own unique URL. That is not what happens on Facebook. I don't know if you've ever wanted to go back to a post and then it says, information isn't found, or that post is no longer available. Content is no longer available, right? That's what happens on Facebook. That's what happens on Instagram. But with Skool, your URL lives forever. And we're going to talk about how your titles become URLs. That is the hack of all hacks. Okay. When you have public posts, they are indexed in Google, okay? Your URL becomes what indexes, and then the first 100 words is what tells Google and AI immediately what that post is about, okay? So because Skool already has a high domain of trust, then Google picks it up and says, oh, that's Skool, just the same as YouTube. Okay. And so we want to think of discovery happening outside of the platform. We do not want to post necessarily for people that are inside. I want you to think about this. Inside the classifieds are owners that are building their own communities. They are building their own storefront. It's like being in a mall, right? And so, yes, you might go and visit the I looked this up yesterday, Churro King. There's a Churro King and multiple locations in Houston. And my friend was tempting me with a Nutella. Nutella? Do you say Nutella? I call it Nutella. Churro. And so if you were in a mall, you would go to the next store over and buy a churro, and you would frequent that place. But your customers are not the other business owners within the mall, right? They're who come to get your products and your offer. And so I really want you to think beyond what is happening in classifieds, okay? I want you to also think, what are they typing at 2 a.m.? When I first became a mod, I started really looking through the classifieds posts to see what was actually happening in classifieds. And I wanted to see how people were posting. Because we don't own the domain, there's no way for us to see what is the most high traffic post, which is kind of a bummer because I love data. But what I noticed is a lot of people were just regurgitating or rewriting their about page kind of commentary, and they were missing this whole other untapped something, which is the 2 a.m. question. I don't know about you. Have you ever been so about something and you're laying in bed midnight, all of a sudden it's 1, all of a sudden it's 2, and you're either on chat. I chat more than I Google these days, and so I used to be on Google. How can I not completely just my whole energy would drop at 3 p.m. Now 3 p.m. is generally when high schoolers get out of high school, 2:33, and so part of it was the school day was over, but it was also what I was feeding myself. And so there would just be this tired behind my eyes, and I'd be like, I need a nap before I can drive home. Okay. And so I would be Googling these things, asking like, what am I doing wrong here? What vitamin or mineral am I missing that I need to like take, because I want to go home and enjoy the rest of my day and enjoy my life, right? And that was not what was happening. So we want to actually use those questions that someone is asking at 2 a.m., either of their AI of choice or Google. We want to use their exact words. And we want to answer that one question clearly in the post, okay? If they wouldn't type it, we don't title it. I put that in because, like, literally, I have seen some of the craziest titles, and if your title in these type of posts are not answering that 2 a.m. question, or in fact asking that same 2 a.m. question, it's not going to be indexed correctly on Google. And I say correctly, yes, there is a right way, but there is not a right or wrong way to post in the classifieds. But here's the thing. If you want to be picked up by search engines, if you want to be picked up by AI, there are some tips that will make that easier for you. One thing is making the question or the title of your post the question they're asking, or the direct answer to that question. Okay? I have a tool for this. I'm going to make it really easy. Okay. Your title becomes your URL. So I tested this in my mock-up group, and I made a specific title. I made a post, I made the specific title what it was, and then I went back, like I posted it, and then I went back and changed the title. And what you will notice is once that URL slug happens, you can change the title to whatever you want. It doesn't matter, because now Google is picking up the URL. And so we want to actually write the exact search phrase that people are looking for. Publish it, right? If you don't want to keep that as what your post is about, you could put a scroll stopping. Just know that your notification went out to anyone who is in classifieds that's in your group. They would have already seen that. It doesn't change the notification. It changes the post. Okay? Maybe that's important. Maybe it's not. I don't know. It depends on how you feel about notifications. For me personally, notifications, I would just beg you, this is my own little soapbox that I'm going to stand on for a second. This is not part of the presentation, but I want you to consider, as you're doing posts across communities and like you're sitting down and you're like doing your posts, I want you to consider the people who are on the other side of your notifications. Because when I see notifications going out from the same person across 3, 4, 5 different groups that we're in common, and I see the exact same post, what is problematic for me is that they're putting it in their own community or communities. They're putting it in the 2 or 3 communities where they are getting found, or right? Like classifieds. And then sometimes they're going into someone else's group and posting because they have permission to go into that group and post about what they're doing. But that gives no context to what is happening in that specific group and why they posted in that specific group. And I also want you to think, like, that's a block of notifications, and it does not make me want to click into them. It makes me want to like, oh, that's the same post across. They're like, it feels low effort, even though it's probably not. It feels like it, and I really want you to be very careful about posting like that. Okay, this is controversial. I want you to stop talking like an expert. I want your authority to live in the words that you're saying that answer that 2 a.m. question. Not like an expert. You know what happens when you like get into the meat of the work of what you do? You start to, and it's not intentional, it just happens, and you start to sound like an expert. You're supposed to. But what that does is it separates, it puts space and a gap between you and the person that you're trying to serve. And so all of a sudden, I don't know if this is for me, right? I don't know if this person can be at my level or understand where I'm at, because like they're so, we put a gap in between where the person is at the level that they're at. So we want to meet, not dumb down, because I've heard someone say, "Oh, you mean dumb down?" No, I don't. I don't actually, because what's happening? Clients are searching for their symptoms. I'm not saying, "Oh, I want to get help with my glucose spikes." No, I want to stop being tired behind my eyes and like can't function at 3 p.m. I'm not searching my glucose spike. I'm not searching how to stop my glucose from spiking, right? I'm not talking about how my mitochondrial processes inside of my cells. I'm not talking about that. I'm actually saying what is going on in my body. What do I need to feed it? What vitamins and minerals are deficient so that now like I'm really struggling to stay awake in the middle of the day? That's what I'm asking. Okay? That's what I'm asking. How can I get over the 3 p.m. slump? I don't want to caffeinate myself, because then I'm up till 12 and 1 and 2 wide awake because the caffeine has kicked in and not worn off, right? And so I'm saying that because that is symptom. I don't want to medicate myself with caffeine. And so how do I have more energy without caffeine? Natural ways to have more energy, right? I want you to think of the ways that people are. I have a tool for this. We don't have to make this hard. The other thing, I mentioned this earlier, like the copying and pasting of about page copy and like tweaking your about page copy so that then it is like, that's what you're posting. This is what my offer is. Why would I want your offer? Tell me what problem you solve. Tell me what outcome, what's in it for me, right? That is marketing 101. You always want to talk to the client, what's in it for me? Okay? The other thing about classifieds that I want you to think about, because this is where we were conditioned with social feeds, DM me for the link. That means someone is absolutely going to message you. Comment X to get Y. That means somebody's going to comment. Here's what happens when you do those two things on the classifieds. Your audience is outside of the classifieds. And I want you to think about, Shannon only lets owners into the classifieds. So if you DM me for the link, it's like you having a party. You invite everyone and you're so excited, and this is what we're doing, and we're going to have a backyard barbecue, and I have a pool and the kids can come swim, and we have a trampoline that's buried deep in the ground so no kid is going to fall off and break their arm, like we're really like thinking ahead and like going to have the best party, and we've already got all the food. You just need to bring your drinks and your kids, and we're going to have fun. Bring your own towels. You're really hyped to go to this party. But what happens is your party started at 6 p.m. and you decided that you were going to lock the house down, turn off all the lights, close the door, and you were going to be nowhere to be found when someone rings that doorbell. Because you did not put the link for someone to come to your party. Or you tell them all about the party and then you don't give them the address. Okay? I want you to think about your link needs to go on every post. That's what this community is about. Self-promo. Your link needs to be in every post. And I'm going to go, in a second, I'm going to tell you how to actually link that link so that it's cleaner. And it also tells Google exactly where that link is going. Okay? Curiosity hooks with no payoff. You have seen this all on social media. I've seen a lot of angry people in the comments, right? Oh, do you love healthy snacks? And then you go down into the comments and like there's literally no recipe. You watch them make it. There's no recipe in the description. There's no recipe in the comments, and you're like, what am I? It's not even saying DM me for the recipe, right? The other thing is that we are not going to teach everything in one post. You get to post every day. Okay, so we want to answer just one of those things in a post. Each post gets its own topic and its own angle. Okay, I want to shift you into, you don't just have one ideal client. You have multiple clients who are looking for the exact same thing. One might be a mom who has kids and she's tired during the day. I keep on going back to this because literally, right? You might have another person who is a teacher, and I'm so tired because I stayed up till 2 a.m. grading papers. And now, like, I have not seen the light of day in 4 days because I'm at school from the time the sun comes up till the time the sun goes down, and I leave late and I'm getting to bed late. I'm running on fumes, right? And then I run out and I get fast food because I don't even have time to cook. That's a whole different angle. That's the same offer, different angles, different people that you're trying to reach. So I want you to keep that in mind, okay? The other thing, and we've said it before, posting like it's a feed. You are not necessarily going to get a whole bunch of comments. And I think that you are not necessarily going to get a whole bunch of comments. I want you to realize that if you get comments, that's a bonus. And it's a place, the comments is a place where you can build the authority, because what they ask you or what they're saying to you allows you to build authority. Now, flip that script. Do you want to build your own authority? Go ask really good questions on other people's posts inside the classifieds that allows them to answer with what their authority and how they understand. Become someone who actually helps other people, like, signal their authority, because then they're going to come over to your posts and start helping you signal authority. Okay? But posting like it's a feed, people outside who are looking for your offer, they can't come in and comment anything. They can't ask for comment X to get Y, and they can't DM you, because generally people off the platform are off the platform. They are not aware of Skool per se. And so we're going to have to do some educating of like how Skool works once they get into your community. But that's a conversation for another day. And it is coming. I definitely will be adding a workshop for that. Okay, so we want to make it really easy for them to click the link, go straight over to your About page, and then at the bottom of your About page, of course, you say join now. Click join. There we go. New member. Yay. Okay, organic traffic source. Okay, the first 100 words decide everything for Google. Remember in college when we had that abstract at the top of an article that we had to read, and it was like, too long, didn't read? That's the same idea. We want to tell Google who this is for, what the problem is, or what the problem is that you're solving, and we want to keep it as plain language as we can, because you are like optimizing your posts for the machines, but there's still going to be a human that reads that. When they go to Google or they go into Google, and Google now has the generation on the top, but then you can still scroll down and find places where a website says, or a school community, or a YouTube channel. And so we want to make sure that when your post is indexed, it is indexed for all the right things. Google knows exactly who to show that to, exactly what the problem is that you're trying to solve. So just like the very first few lines on your About page, absolutely. If you're a mom who gets tired at 3 p.m. because you're running on fumes, right? We know it's for a mom. We know it's because she's tired, okay? And we don't want to start with your philosophy. We want to start with their situation. I want you to like literally call that person out. Caw-caw, right? I want you to call that person out. Now, as much as I hate to say this is a post framework, this is a post framework, okay? Title is the exact 2 a.m. question. Your opening, your first 100 words is saying who this is for, why they're coming to find you. And then in the body, I want you to spend the rest of the post talking to the human. Because if they have already clicked, you ask the exact question they were asking. Whoa, they're in my mind. The opening, whoa, they're talking directly to me. This is me. They're talking to me. And then in the body, I want you to talk to that human and answer that thing. I don't want you to answer it fully. I want you to give them enough information for why, so that you can implement the how inside of your community. Okay? The CTA, your call to action, is if you want or want to get, okay, your direct link should be inside of a hyperlink inside that CTA. Okay? Those 4 things. That's it. A title, your opening that's a TLDR in or abstract, your body that's speaking to the human that is looking for the thing that you do, your call to action. Okay? Easy. I hope this is getting easier. Okay. Engagement is not the goal. Okay? Engagement is not the goal, because this is authority building. This is offer posting. You might get 3 likes. That does not mean it failed. We are not in a feed mentality anymore. We are now search, visible, searchable, findable, everywhere. Okay? Searchable everywhere. Comments are a bonus amplification. And I knew this slide was coming up. I just didn't know how long. And man, I was ready then. Comments are a bonus amplification, and when you go comment on someone else, they're going to go comment on yours, and it becomes reciprocity, right? Reciprocal. And I would highly recommend, if you have not, I'm not saying engagement boost and engagement farm in like a spammy, weird way. I'm saying go find a bestie inside of the classifieds. You can go right to that intro post that Shannon posted and find some people who do what you do or do what you do adjacent, because they can ask questions based on your offer and their offer that then gives you authority. And if you can go boost their posts by asking great questions, then it boosts both of you, right? And so find your classifieds bestie. Comments are a bonus amplification. I want you to just keep that in mind. If you don't get comments, it's not the end of the world, because that post, when you have written it in this format, title so that it picks it up on Google, your post lives forever out there, just waiting for someone to Google that question. That's why we're going to look up 20 2 a.m. questions. Okay? And you're going to keep on asking them different ways. That's why I only need three posts a week. That's it. Okay? 3 posts a week. So before you post again, okay, I want you to rewrite your next title as that 2 a.m. question. I want you to fix your first 100 words. I want you to think keyword heavy. What are they searching for? What is the answer? Keyword heavy, so that when they go out and they didn't ask a 2 a.m. question, they just said high cortisol, right? I'm in fight, flight, or freeze. I'm constantly in freeze mode. And people are talking that way these days because it's been since 2020 and all of the stress of 2020, people have started talking that way. We want to remove the DM me. They can't DM you and you just lost the sale, okay? And this is not Chicken Little about me. I just want to make sure that people know where to find you. You remember the old Motel 6 commercials and it said, we'll leave a light on for you? That's what we want to do. That is what that link is doing, okay? Do not post the ugly link. See, and I did not. Okay, so what is in the this is the end of the presentation. Normally, this is the part where I would ask questions, but I'm doing this again just as a quick run through so that it's cleaner, that I can put it out on YouTube as well. The next steps for this, though, is the Evergreen Answer Engine. And what this is, all you have to do is take your About page copy. If you are not on Skool, you take your landing page, you take your sales page, you take your website, and you add it into the Evergreen Answer Engine, okay? It is going to pull out, and I am going to show you what it's going to do in just a moment. It's going to pull out 20 keywords, 20 long tail keywords, which include some questions, and then it's going to include 20 of those 2 a.m. questions that has to do with your offer. Along the way of the answer engine, it's going to ask you to verify your ideal client, verify your offer, verify your positioning. Okay, and so we'll go through this in just a minute. I also added some post blueprints. I have a library of 10 post blueprints. I do have some 2 a.m. question prompts included. There's title URL optimization so that it can be the 2 a.m. question, or we can optimize for another way so that you're not constantly, oh, here comes another question, right? And then the direct link structure. Now, the other item that I am finishing up is a 30-day content builder. So I don't know about you, but when I first came into the classifieds, I was like, how do I even get started? Now, I knew how to leverage a public community, but everybody was posting and there was just so much going on, and I just I don't know, I got in my head about it. And so I want you to get out of your head, and I want you to have a 30-day content builder. Now, it is not going to build the posts. It is going to give you 30 days of content ideas. So every week, 3 of this structure, okay? 3 of this structure, because you don't need to post more. You need really, really good, solid posts, 3 to 4 per week, max. And then the rest of the week, the rest of the time in the classifieds, I want you to just post about you, about your testimonials, all of the things. I just want more natural flow. These are on purpose, okay? Think about your blog post, and you did listicles, you did top things we did on vacation, best vacations for Disney, whatever it was that you put on your blog. I want you to think of those 3 posts as a blog on purpose. You can have other posts that are just you rambling, or a recipe that we threw in, or whatever, right? But on your blog, on your website, what we would have wanted was 3 really solid things that Google can pick up, because then the extra things become just extra, right? Just extra. And so even if people are looking for that one thing, if someone then Googled your name, they would find all of your posts in the classifieds, okay? And so we want that duality. We want them to see your personality in the highly personable kinds of conversations, okay? And so, like I said, shipping tomorrow. That is my goal by the end of this weekend. If you purchase the VIP toolkit, so all of this is available inside of the VIP toolkit, okay? And I have posted that link to the VIP toolkit so that you can get it. It's going to make life so much faster, and it is a Google Drive, so anything that I update after this, the Evergreen Answer Engine is a GPT right now. I am getting ready to build an app for this so that I can get it off of chat and have more robust answers for this, so that it will actually help you format your post. You just add in your piece of it, if that would be helpful. All of this lives in a Google Drive folder, and so I send you a link to the payment information, and then it will include the Google Drive information for you. Every time I'm trying to get to, every time that I make an update, you will have the updates. You will have the updates. Every time I add something new into this, because this is something I'm developing, not just for you, but for myself as well. I have a public community myself, and I keep on saying, I'm going to, like, somebody told me the other day, you are the cobbler's shoes, right? You are the cobbler's kids, because I'm constantly putting things out for other people and then not using it myself. So I am starting to use it, and that's why there will be additional things and some tweaks along the way. I'm going to stop share on this. And I want to start share on our other. Okay. I want to put through, I'm going to use the classifieds actually. I'm going to use the about page for the classifieds because we're already in there. Okay? And so the about page for the classifieds, there we go. So we're going to go into the GPT and I'm going to say analyze my positioning page. Now I put that because eventually this workshop is going to be for anyone who wants to start utilizing a public school community. There we go. And then it's going to tell you that it needs the positioning, and we are going to, here it is, ... enter and paste. Okay, and now what it's going to do, people who own or are building a school community and want a place to promote their community, get visibility, collaborate with other creators, grow membership. This is all true. This is all true. Solution aware. They need visibility, they need growth, and they need places to promote, because we know, like, you cannot do that in schoolers. And not everybody wants to start a YouTube channel. I do understand that. Okay. So all of this looks good. The primary pain is that promoting a community online often feels spammy, awkward, restricted in most groups, and hard to get traction. Okay. They want a place where promotion is normal and welcome. That is true. The desired outcome is, I hope, evergreen traffic is your outcome. I want to add that part. Low to moderate sophistication. They are not advanced marketers. They want simple visibility opportunities. This is not for people without a school community. Okay, that looks right. That looks right. And alignment questions. That is correct. Okay. Yes, number 1 is correct. Only school owners, not course creators, coaches, and digital creators unless they are on Skool. This is not for someone who is outside of school that does not want to own a community. This community is specifically to attract and to have organic reach in an evergreen fashion that allows this content to be seen by AI and search engines for the long haul. So we want members of this community to be able to get clients, members, customers, all of the names. We want them to be able to get those customers just by having their evergreen content out on the Skool classifieds. Large community owners can be included. Beginners are absolutely welcome, and agencies or marketers are not included. Okay, and that should have clarified because I don't see anything about like Evergreen traffic source. Yes, that's better. Yeah, exactly. Now, this part does take a little bit of extra time just because your about page, I want to confirm on your about page that that is the person you're trying to attract. Because sometimes we don't realize that our about page might not actually be calling in who we want to work with. And so we want to make sure that all of this information is correct. And I do know that this part of the process, it does take a little bit of extra time, but it will be worth it. Yeah. Yes. Let me move that. Yes. That is the offer, and we do not offer advertising strategy or agency level marketing or consulting. Now, if you're on the personals, that part is absolutely kind of not true because the personals gives you a way to interact with other owners. But we are not talking about guarantees for lead generation. We are not a marketing consulting firm, etc. So all of that is true. And then we want to take a look at the positioning alignment. Based on the confirmed offer and audience, here is the structural positioning. Yes. The subcategory. Yes. Yes, that is true. Yes. Let's actually, I just want to change. It says the structure of the platform, but I want to get really clear on leverage. The high traffic, high trust factor of public school communities. This also helps reduce the amount of ad spend through Google or Meta ads by utilizing the high trust factor of the platform. Okay. And then it's going to refine. Yes. Okay, good. Yes. Okay, good. Good. I like that. The market maturity level, the early education stage. Now that is not everyone. That is what we're trying to reduce. Yes. Yes. Okay, now what it's going to do is it's going to here are the 20 keywords that the classifieds, because we put in that about page, This is what people would be searching for. Now, I don't know that they would actually be searching for a public school community. They would be looking for organic growth, community reach, community audience growth, community traffic. School community advertising alternatives, that's a good one. Okay, all of this is going, like, this is what it's going to do for yours. It's going to give you 20 keywords. And then we have long tail keywords, how to promote a school community, how to get members in a school community, so on and so forth. But here comes the 2 a.m. questions. See how these are different? Best ways to grow a school community, organic marketing for school communities, how public school communities rank in search. Now take a look at the 2 a.m. search questions. Why is no one joining my school community? Why is my school group not growing? Why is it so hard to promote a school community? Do you see the difference in those questions? And there's 20 of them. So problem aware, solution aware, decision aware. Okay, and there's 20 of them. Now, this is where it gets really good, okay? Before generating the first batch of post blueprints, select the tone for this batch, and you can do straight teacher tone, warm and grounding, direct and punchy, curious and reflective, calm and clinical. Now, if you have a style and tone document already available that you use in your chat, you can just go plus and add it in, and it will generate with your tone and style. Okay, 5 AEO post blueprints based on the discovery questions. And I'm going to choose, for right now, I'm not going to put my tone and style guide in. I'm going to choose curious and reflective. That's generally how I do it anyway. And then it's going to give you blueprint number 1. Where can I promote my school community? It's decision aware. Here are the keywords that you want to stack into that. Long tail phrases. If you want to know where to promote a school community, right? And so then you would keep on going. Here's your SEO title. First 100 words, starter structure. Now, it is not generating the post for you. It's generating all of this information. And it's going to generate 5 of them. Now, I just want a post made. You can take blueprint number 3. Okay. Let's actually choose one. Okay, blueprint. Why is my school community not growing? So that's problem aware. And the core keywords are good. That is what someone would actually ask. How to grow a school community organically. All of those. Why do some school communities grow while others stay invisible? That's such a good question. SEO title. Why is your school community not growing yet? Right? That's a question that would go into the title. I actually like this one. Now, I wanted to go into detail with this today on this workshop so that you can see the tool in action. This is what's available to you inside of the VIP toolkit. You pick a blueprint. So I'm going to say I want blueprint number 2. Okay, and let's actually scroll down. Now, I haven't read blueprint number 3, 4, or 5. 4 is, can school communities rank on Google? Yes, they can. Your about page is what helps rank your school community on Google. Blueprint 5, how can I grow my school community without ads? Solution aware. That's good. How can you grow a school community without running ads? That is the question, right? And then here's the first 100 starter words. Okay. So those are all the blueprints. And then it also has light next step CTA options. Explore how school owners are growing their communities organically. See examples of communities. Okay. Descriptive hyperlink anchor text options. Organic discovery strategies for school communities. Examples of school groups growing without ads. Public school communities used for promotion. Right? And then I love the ownership question. Now, you can select one blueprint to develop. You can request an additional 5 blueprints or generate a structured handoff prompt for drafting in another chat. So blueprint number 2 is really good. Let's create a structured handoff prompt, please. Yes, I say please and thank you. Okay, so here's our last phase. And it's going to do markdown text so that I can just copy and paste it into a new chat. It takes all of this information. Okay, it's giving prompts as to help you build that content. Now, the only last thing that I would say is you need to be writing your own content. And the reason I'm saying that is the more and more and more people get used to seeing AI copy, it becomes so obvious that it's AI copy. Even when you use your own voice and tone, there are just certain things that start to drift again. And like even I've noticed it, and I have cheated. I have used AI copy for a good 6 months. And okay, a good year, probably a year. But now I've started to like write my own and then put it back through chat and have chat tweak based on this is what I want people to get out of it. This is how I need it to land with people. Like I'm doing the other side of it. So I'm writing it and then asking it like, how does this land? And it's better if you have your ideal client that like is then testing how it's landing instead of just chat testing how it's landing. So you would take this whole thing and drop it into a new chat and have the new chat start working on it. You can of course ask, thanks, can we generate another 5 blueprints? Because the other thing that you could do is just copy and paste the blueprints and put them into a Google Doc and keep them and bring them out at a later time, right? Oh man, I can't remember what I wanted to post, right? Or use these as your 3 posts per week. And it's going to generate me a whole other something, okay? That is the Evergreen answer engine. And then I can show you inside the drive. Okay, let's just go there and I'll pop it open. So here's the 2026 VIP toolkit that I wanted to talk through. Here's your start here. This is classifieds post structure. That's the 4 things that I had in there. 3 tweaks to make your post today better. AI plus about page. So if you actually want to put it through, this is how the AI answer engine started, and then I added way more to it. Oops. The AI post rating. So what I did when I first became a mod is I put a prompt together so that I could go through, and yes, I rated posts. I even rated my own as I was getting ready to promote the workshop. But you can put this prompt into the chat or the session, the AI session that you're working on, and have AI rank your post based on its AEO qualities. It'll say GEO and SEO, and it'll give you a 1 out of 10 ranking and rating. How to use the Evergreen answer engine, live capture guide, which was to go along with this workshop, and then the SEO GEO prompt library. And here is the post library with the 10 different styles of posts, if it will open, the 10 different styles of posts that you can use. For AI really likes listicles, and AI loves anything that says testimonials about what you've done, because then that becomes your authority by someone else saying that you do that. Okay, so it doesn't hurt to do that. This 20% reveal post is good too, like all of them. Okay, I'm just gonna say, but really, problem indexed listicles, AI used to really love that. AI is crawling pretty much everything at this point, and so you are welcome to use that. I will also post a Q&A section as well, that some of the questions that came out of previous sessions, so that I can answer those. But I hope that this has been helpful. If you have any questions, my DMs are always open. I would be happy to help you at any point, or you can comment on the YouTube video if you're watching this on YouTube. And thank you so much for watching with us today. Happy posting.